I was in the hospital for 21 days, and during that time my father gave my house to my sister. When I returned, he told me, "It's no longer yours. Don't come back." I simply replied, "Enjoy it." 1 week later, the surprise I had prepared left them speechless. My name is Ethan. I'm 30, the older kid, the steady one. I work maintenance at the city water plant. Graveyard shifts, steel-toe boots, hands always smelling like bleach and copper. I bought my little 2-bedroom when I was 27. It's nothing fancy. Peeling porch paint, a loud fridge, a maple tree that drops helicopters like confetti every spring. But it's mine, or it was until my family decided it wasn't. My sister Lily is 25 and has always been the golden ticket. She glides. Jobs appear. Bills vanish. Dad calls her my girl with this soft voice I've never heard used on me. On me, he uses the other voice, the one that says, "Be a man." Mom left when we were kids. Dad raised us on blunt opinions and microwave dinners. He loves loudly and badly. He loves by handing you a task and then telling you how you did it wrong. When I closed on the house, he said, "Proud of you then. Don't get cocky." In the same breath, I painted the living room alone because he doesn't do beige. Lily swanned through with a latte and suggestions. "You should knock this wall down," she said, tapping a load-bearing column with her nail. "It would be so open." That's Lily. Expensive ideas with other people's money. 3 weeks ago, I got sick. It started like a cold. Then my chest felt tight. My breath like I was trying to sip air through a cracked straw. At 2 a.m., I drove myself to the ER because I didn't want to bother anyone. Stupid, I know. Pneumonia, they said. I told work I'd be out a few days. Days turned into 21 in a white room with a number I knew by heart. 412B for buzzing morphine dreams. A curtain that never really closed. 21 days of plastic cups with ice water and nurses who said my name like it was a soft thing. Dad came once on day 4. He stood by the bed and stared at the monitor like it was a sports scoreboard. "You scared your sister," he said. "You should have called me." He brought me socks I already owned. He left after 9 minutes. On day 9, Lily texted, "You okay? I might swing by if my schedule opens." Her schedule, a Pilates class, and a pop-up market. On day 13, a neighbor, Mr. Patel, sent a photo to my phone by mistake. It was of my porch. In the photo, my dad holding my spare key and Lily smiling with boxes. Caption, "Big move day." I stared at it until the letters blurred. I typed, "That's my house," but didn't send it. On day 21, they discharged me with 2 antibiotics, a stack of papers, and a warning to take it easy. The air outside felt like a new planet. I called a ride. My bag thumped against my sore ribs on the driveway because I was too stubborn to ask for help. Dad was on my porch, arms crossed. Lily stood behind him with a measuring tape, already planning where to put her ring light. He didn't say hello. He said, "It's not yours anymore. Don't come back." For a second, I thought the pneumonia had crawled into my ears. "What?" He lifted his chin toward the deadbolt. "Change the locks. Lily needs stability. You're never home anyway." Lily twirled the tape. "It's for the best. You can get something smaller, like cozy." My lungs hurt, but not from the pneumonia. I put the strap of the hospital bag tighter on my shoulder. I looked at the house I'd scraped for the front window with the nicked sill I'd sanded by hand. I said, "Enjoy it." Dad squinted. "That's it. That's all you have to say." "That's all I've got today," I said, and I walked past them to the sidewalk. I didn't make a scene. I didn't beg. I didn't text a paragraph. I booked a motel for a week and bought a toothbrush from a vending machine. I lay on the thin bed with a crinkly mattress cover and stared at the ceiling tiles until they made shapes. I didn't sleep. I counted. Not money, not steps, just days. And while I counted, I planned a surprise. This didn't start with pneumonia or a lock. It started with a pattern. Growing up, if Lily and I both brought home A's, Dad took Lily for ice cream and told me, "Don't let it go to your head." When Lily dented the car, he blamed the pole. When I spilled a glass of milk, he lectured about carelessness for 15 minutes like it was a TED Talk. If Lily cried, the house stopped. If I bled, I was fine. Money was always the tool. Dad used it to fix what shouldn't be fixed and to break what shouldn't be broken. He wasn't rich. He worked construction until his knee gave out, then did odd jobs. But whatever he had, he placed on the altar of Lily's potential. She tried cosmetology school, moved in with a boyfriend, moved out, tried dog grooming, moved back, sold candles online, burned through 3 credit cards, and somehow it was always my job to help her find her feet. Family is family, Dad would say. You pitch in. Pitch in meant you pay. At 23, I worked 2 jobs and saved like it was a religion. I had a jar on my dresser. I taped a piece of paper to it that said house in block letters. Dad called it cute. Lily called it sad. I counted singles, took shifts, fixed neighbors' sinks for $60 cash. I learned to patch drywall by watching videos at 1.25x speed. I got pre-approved for a mortgage and cried in the bank parking lot because that letter felt like permission to exist. The down payment drained me to $812 in my checking account. The day I closed, Dad scanned the deed and said, "You think you're better than us now?" I said, "No. I just want to sleep without hearing the TV through the wall." From the first weekend, he treated my house like a community center. "We'll do family dinners here," he announced. Translation, "We'll eat your groceries and leave our plates in the sink." He gave Lily a key for emergencies. Emergencies were apparently, "I need a place to film, and my landlord is weird and it's loud at Dad's." I set rules. Text first. No sleepovers without asking. Put the thermostat back. Rules slid off them like oil in a pan. It sounds minor until it repeats. Until you drag yourself home from a 12-hour shift and see someone else's shoes on your mat, and Lily saying, "That's just Maya. She's staying over." Until Dad leaves your front door wide open because he forgot something in the truck, then lectures you about neighborhood crime. Until you open your water bill, $2.18, because Lily needed to fill a tub with rose petals for a video. I swallowed those costs like poison in microdoses because fighting felt worse than paying. When I pushed back, Dad flipped it moral. "You only have this house because of family," he'd say. "Don't be ungrateful." "You mean because I worked?" I'd answer, and he'd call me disrespectful. The hospital happened because I didn't quit after 2 double shifts. Because I caught a chill in a wet basement. Because I ignored the cough. Rent doesn't care if you're tired. Then one night, my chest locked. For a second, I knew drowning. The ER nurse said, "You waited too long." I nodded. I always wait. Lying in 412B, I heard what quiet was without Dad's voice drilling into me. On day 7, my supervisor texted a photo of my locker with a post-it, "Get well." On day 8, Mr. Patel accidentally sent me a porch photo, and my heart slammed. I texted, "Dad, everything okay at my house?" He wrote back, "We're handling things." I asked, "Handling what?" But no reply. On day 11, Lily's story showed her spinning in my living room, my thrifted coffee table, captioned, "New Beginnings." I watched it 3 times. My 4 beeped. I could taste saline. I called Dad. He let it ring. Called again. He texted, "Focus on getting better. We'll talk when you're out." On day 15, I woke at 3 a.m. to the hospital TV glow and made a list on the back of a cafeteria menu. It wasn't angry, it was math. Mortgage $1,146. Property tax $2,187 due October. Utilities average $196. Groceries $280. Repairs, whatever breaks. Guests, $0. At the end I wrote, "My spine." On day 19, a respiratory therapist, Carmen, said, "You look like you're planning a heist." I said, "I'm planning not to be robbed." She laughed, then saw my face and stopped. "You need boundaries, baby." I used to hate that word, thought it was Instagram fluff. But lying under a bleach blanket, I realized boundaries weren't quotes. They were locks you didn't apologize for. Discharge came. Dad and Lily came too. He had my keys. He had a story about stability. He had my front step. And when he said, "It's not yours anymore," something in me unlatched that I didn't demand the keys back. Didn't yell. Didn't cry. I said, "Enjoy it." Because momentum works both ways, you can turn it. Then I checked into a motel, opened my laptop on a burned dresser, and made 3 calls. One to a property manager whose card I'd saved for someday. One to a locksmith for Monday, 8 a.m. One to a friend in the sheriff's office to ask about the legal notice window for unauthorized occupants. Answer: 7 days in our county for owner-occupied status with no lease on file. I printed a notice to vacate at the FedEx down the street. $1.32 to staple it. Dated it. Slept. The first 3 days, my phone lit up like a fire alarm. 17 missed calls from Dad. 31 texts from Lily. A group chat ping. "Can someone bring foil?" As if I didn't exist. I left it on Do Not Disturb. Took my pills. Counted down to Monday. Sunday night, I ironed a shirt. No reason. Just wanted to feel like someone who chooses a shirt. Monday, 7:52 a.m., I stood on my own sidewalk with a folder tucked under my arm. Not dramatic, just a blue one from the office store. The maple tree dropped helicopters. My house looked the same as when I left. My body didn't. My breath was steady. My hands still. Dad opened the door before I knocked. You finally decided to come crawling. Morning, I said. Lily was barefoot on my rug, coffee in hand. Messy bun that costs money. We're busy, Ethan. I have a client at 9. At 9, I repeated. Perfect. At 8 o'clock sharp, the locksmith's van pulled up. At 8:01, the property manager's sedan. Mark, tidy man, clipboard, polite smile hiding teeth. 2 minutes later, another car arrived. A couple in scrubs, holding hands. Travel nurses. Lease signed Friday. Move in today at noon. First month plus deposit already in my account. $3 for 100. Dad's face went the color men get before they blow. What's this? I opened the blue folder, handed him page 1. Notice to vacate. Served last Monday. 7 days. You got it on your windshield. I'd seen him crumple it on Mr. Patel's door camera. He tossed the paper like it burned. This is our home. It's my home, I said calm flat. You were guests when invited. You were trespassers when you changed the locks. Lily scoffed. You can't evict your family. I can end access you assumed you had, I said. And I did. Mark cleared his throat. Sir, ma'am, you have 20 minutes to collect personal items. Movers will pack the rest for storage. Storage, Dad said, like I'd said grave. 60 days at my cost, I told him. After that, it's yours to handle. The nurses exchanged that careful look medical people have around scenes. We can come back, the woman said softly. You're fine, I told them. This is your home at noon. Dad moved toward the property manager like he meant to swing. I stepped between them. Didn't raise my voice. Didn't puff up. If you touch him, I call the sheriff. If you're still here past 9, I call the sheriff. If you break anything, I call the sheriff. You're really doing this, Lily snapped. Yes. Because you hate us, Dad said. After everything I've done. This isn't revenge, I said. This is closure. He blinked. The locksmith popped the cylinder with a clean click. The sound rang through me like a bell. Check your email, I told Dad. For the next 90 days, contact is email only. I'll respond within 48 hours. If you need budgeting help, ask respectfully. If Lily needs housing, there are apartments that take deposits. You think you're better than us because you have a spreadsheet? Dad spat. I think I'm better than I was last week. I said at 8:19. Lily stuffed 2 armfuls of clothes into a trash bag, glaring like she could burn the hinges off the door. You'll regret this, Lily hissed. I regret waiting this long. I said at 8:26. Dad tried the oldest trick. Family is forever. You can't evict blood. I'm not evicting blood, I said. I'm evicting behavior. He looked at the nurses, the locksmith, the property manager, then at me. Saw I wasn't flinching. He left. By noon, the house was quiet except for the new lock clicking into place. The nurses carried in boxes and a plant. We'll treat the place right, the woman said. I believed her. At 12:37, Aunt Carol left a voicemail. I hope your conscience keeps you warm. Delete that. At 1:12, Dad emailed. Monster. You'll regret this when you're old and alone. I replied. Contact by email only. Twice monthly dinners available. Thursdays at 6. He wrote back. Don't contact me again. I marked it read and closed the tab. By day 2, the family chat turned to lectures and crying selfies. I muted it. Opened a spreadsheet instead. Rent, motel, meds, lawyer consult. Day 3, Dad left a calm voicemail. We're family. You can't leave her on the street. I emailed back. 60 days storage. $500 toward Lily's deposit. After that, she's an adult. He replied, keep your dirty money. Then asked me for $200 the next morning. I ignored it. Day 4, the lawyer said, you own it outright. Your notice was valid. Keep records. Stay clean. I wanted that, no excuses. Day 5, I worked half a shift. My supervisor said, you look lighter. I said, I changed locks. We both laughed. That night Dad emailed a list of sacrifices. I read it. I let it matter. I wrote back, thank you. And also, New rules. Attached a page. What I will no longer do, what I am willing to do. I braced for rage. Got silence instead. Day 6. Lily asked for the $500. I sent it to a leasing office. She texted, "I hate you. Thanks." Then posted a photo of her tiny studio with a fresh start quote. I didn't react. Day 7. I visited my house. The nurses had strung lights on the porch. It looked like rest. Dad's truck slowed at the curb. "You really did it," he said. "I did," I answered. "Where do I go when I need something?" "Inside your own life." It didn't sound cruel. It felt true. He nodded once and drove away. That night, I left the motel for a short-term sublet above a bakery. At 5 a.m., the whole building smelled like sugar that I slept through my alarm for the first time in years and didn't wake in panic. The calls slowed. The chat moved on. Aunt Carol shared a recipe. Lily posted a discount code. Dad went quiet, then sent me a link to cheap tires. I clicked it. Prices were good. I made eggs in a pan that wasn't mine and ate them hot. 2 weeks later, I met Dad at a diner, Thursday at 6. He was early, lines practiced. He started with Lily's new place. It's small, but she's making it nice. She had a part-time salon job. I said I was glad, and I meant it.